Coping with COVID and In It Together present Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by the Diabetes Advisory Council of South Carolina and DHEC's Division of Diabetes and Heart Disease Management.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Fight the spread and take a stand against coronavirus. Wear a mask in public. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And get tested. Join us and fight the spread. Visit scdhec.gov/COVID-19.
Happy Wednesday to you. It is Wellness Wednesday, and In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday right here on Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor. I am Tre Tailor, and today it's World Food Month, and 'tis the season for food, y'all. So we're talking to two women who can help us eat good and healthy. Chef Judy Etheredge joins us. Also, Sherretta Thomas with DHEC. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today on Coping with COVID.
So much for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to talk to both of those ladies next. But first, your COVID community updates. Richland 1 has already launched their phase 2 program. And next week, Richland 2 is preparing to welcome students. But many teachers are asking for a 4-day work week and Friday for lesson planning and thorough cleaning. Meanwhile, the district says they've provided uninterrupted planning time on Friday for middle and high school teachers. They said they can't meet everyone's concerns. Kroger will offer rapid testing antibodies for everyone next month, making them the first U.S. retailer to make the finger prick tests available worldwide. The $25 test will let people know in about 15 minutes if they were previously infected with COVID, and will be available at the company's 2,000 pharmacies and 220 clinics in 35 states at Kroger, Harris Teeter, Ralph's, Fred Meyer, and more. And Oprah is hosting a series of town hall meetings on Zoom as part of her nonpartisan voting initiative, and South Carolina is on the list. Own Your Vote SC is tonight at 8, featuring national thought leaders, voting rights experts, and representatives from women's organizations. Plus tonight, Columbia City Councilwoman Tamika Isaac will be included in the conversation. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register. You can see the registration right there on the screen. It's zoomwithoprah.com. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date listings of times, dates, and locations for COVID testing in and around South Carolina. All of that information will be scrolling throughout the show, so please check that information so that you can get your free COVID test. Also, information on the DHEC Care Line. Now, you can call the DHEC Care Line to find out more about COVID, to find out more about testing, and also to get transportation for a COVID test. Now, speaking of transportation, if you or someone you know is unable to get to a COVID test, they're immobile in Richland and Clarendon counties. Paramedics are actually doing in-home COVID testing. That information is also right there on the screen, so please utilize it if you need it. Now, we're in the midst of COVID, but it is flu season too, y'all, and flu is happening, and you need to get vaccinated. So Prisma, the VA, and also SCDHEC is offering several free flu vaccination clinics. And again, you can see that information on the screen. That also will be scrolling throughout the show. Now, the South Carolina Bar Association and SC Legal Services have collaborated to offer both a website and phone number for folks who may need help with their rent and mortgage. Also, the City of Columbia is offering a 6-month payment plan for folks who are behind. They also have payment assistance. You can get up to 75% of your bill paid from the City of Columbia. Now, as you know, early voting has started, and you can check out the various satellite locations throughout the state where you can vote during the week, regardless of where you usually vote. Also, if you have requested a mail-in ballot, you can drop it off at any voting location. You shouldn't have to wait in line. You can just walk up, drop it off. Also, see if there's a drop box. Now, this weekend, there's a march to the polls in both Columbia and Charleston. We're going to talk with those ladies who'll tell us more about the march to the polls. That's this week on Coping with COVID. And the South Carolina Department of Employment and Workforce is offering free courses and certifications in business, technology, health, data science, arts, and humanities. Courses are offered in both English and Spanish, and people can take as many as they would like. You've got to register, though, till October 31st. Visit do.sc.gov for info. A couple of weeks ago, Rashonda Pratt did a great show on tips for virtual learning and virtual schooling and working. If you need that information, she's dedicated an entire YouTube channel for virtual schooling, learning, and working tips. Check her out on YouTube and get the information that you need. Finally, there are a couple of job opportunities in the state. CarMax, for one, is hiring about 50 people in Columbia. Visit their website. You can see that, careers.carmax.com. And also, Amazon is hiring. They're looking to hire about 1,500 people in South Carolina. Various jobs are available. Again, amazondelivers.jobs. Coping with COVID is brought to you by In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council every Wednesday, every Wellness Wednesday. And we are streaming live on the In It Together page. You can see it right there. We're streaming live on the In It Together Facebook page. We're also streaming live on the Tailor Made production page. That's the home of Coping with COVID. If you'd go over there and like and share, you can not only check out Coping with COVID Monday through Saturday, but you can get all of your COVID-related updates. We're also streaming live on the Tre Tailor YouTube page. Would you go over there and hit the subscribe button? And we would love for you to be a member of the Tre Tailor Tailor Made Production YouTube page. In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor, and today we're talking to Chef Judy Etheredge. She's a stylist and culinary queen who specializes in creating healthy, diabetic-approved that tastes good. She's in her test kitchen right now, where I wish I was, Judy. I hate that I can't be there because you're cooking some great stuff. And I tell you, if I didn't have this event right after, I'd be right there with you. But thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Today. So first I want to ask Judy, can everything we eat be changed so that we can eat better or eat healthier?
Yes, absolutely. What they say is unhealthy food, we can have a healthy alternative that even tastes even great. You know, it tastes wonderful. That's the main thing is we're looking for. We're looking for the comfort food, but we're also looking for the taste of food. We want food to taste good, and it should be a great experience.
Yeah, and people do. People, you want it to taste good, and people are just really skeptical about changing their traditional recipes. What are some ingredients you could use to substitute, like a substitute for butter or sugar or flour?
Right. So for the and that's what we're going to show you today on this particular item right here. We use coconut flour and almond flour. And so we also, the alternative for sugar, we use monk fruit, and we also use stevia. And we also use a little ginger honey and half lemon honey. So all those give it a good flavor to where we still can have the good taste and the good food, but we just change it up because what the main thing we find is that diabetes mostly is caused from the high blood sugar.
Right.
And then it causes other kind of issues with that without all of those different greens like white sugar. Just to give you an example, white sugar may be 64 on a glycemic index, and monk fruit may be 6. That's a big difference.
Wow, that is a huge difference.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about monk fruit, because I know that we've just started hearing a lot about monk fruit. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, so it's a great alternative for all of your sugar needs, your desserts and everything, for sweeten up your coffee and those type of things. So monk fruit, what it is it's made from a plant. And one thing I like about it that it's a great alternative because we can make it into powdered sugar also. We take and blend it up in our coffee grinder. And so we just want to change those out because it's a 1-to-1 replacement, so you don't have to use no more than that with a sugar. So let's become sugar. You can use a cup of monk fruit. So 0 calories, 0 on glycemic index, and 0 carbs.
Wow.
So it's just a very great alternative. I use a lot of it, so you know my bag is about gone because I use it a lot.
Now, can we get that at any grocery store?
Yes, any grocery store have it, and I even find at Costco they have a big bag of it. So I normally get it from there. Then I found out there's at Home Goods, so you can find it, at a better price at Home Goods or something like that.
Right. So monk fruit.
Yeah, it's called stevia. Now a lot of people say leave an aftertaste, but I think once you kind of get used to it, I love it. Just what I use in my coffee. So I don't use any white sugar. Period. Even these little balls that we made, they made out of coconut flour, dates instead of white sugar. And so those are great alternatives. Yeah, so those are great too. So we have a way of making sure that everything tastes good and delicious for you.
Right. We want to say hi to Kimberly Smith. She says, very informative information. Thank you so much, Kim, for watching. And please post and share this out so we can get the message out to the masses, because you're right. You know, we want to eat healthy. It's such a wave of kind of going to eat healthy. And especially, I mean, you know, with folks who are diabetic, you know, they don't want to feel left out in the holiday eating, you know, but you're saying that you can still enjoy your food and have a healthy, low or no sugar alternative, and it still tastes good.
Right. I make pound cakes. I make red velvet cakes out of the monk fruit, out of something that's, you know, different and good. I even make my frosting out of monk fruit too. So anything that you have that you know that you need, sweet potato pies, cakes, cupcakes, we can all make that all with something other alternative with the monk fruit. Some people use youth raw, which is another kind of great sweetener that people can use in their desserts and their coffees and anything they want sweet. I just think that we have to get control of diabetes, because where I grew up in 29203, it's one of the highest counties that have diabetes.
Right.
And then I was in a conversation with a pharmacist the other week, and I said, well, and she's in 29203. I said, how many prescriptions that you fill is for diabetes? And she said 40% of her prescriptions is for diabetes.
Wow.
And that's for us as a people and as a community.
Yeah. 40% of prescriptions in 29203 are diabetes medications. And as you say,
great about it. We can do something, but we got to have the motivation. We got to want to change our mindset. I always tell people, change your mind, change your food, and change your health.
Yeah. And not only that, we've got to see that, one, there are other alternatives. And like you said, that the alternatives still taste good. They got to taste good for people who want to eat it, Judy.
And I tell you, that's what I call my kitchen, my science lab, because I'm always in my kitchen trying to figure out how to turn out great food, and also to share recipes for people that's seeking other alternatives.
Right.
And so I want to get on the bandwagon. And one thing I wanted to say in our community, a lot of times we think because grandma, mom, or dad had diabetes that we are going to get it. Well, I'm on that fight and mission too, because my mom and dad both had diabetes. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because if I can stop diabetes in this track, we're going to save our people from going blind, for getting their feet amputated,
limbs cut off. Yeah.
And they are doing it at a high number.
Yeah.
And I'm very concerned, and that's why I'm so passionate, and I'm on a mission to try to correct that and fix that whatever way I can. You know, we do that through cooking classes, we do that through educational classes, we do that through coaching. And I just want to get the information out that we have a way of doing that, and empower families, and start, you know, at our with our children. 463 people are affected with diabetes. 463 million, I mean. 463 million. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And 1 million children are affected by diabetes. And so we got to fix that.
Yeah, you know, Judy, you're making so many great points. You're right. One thing I'll tell you, my family has a trace of diabetes also, and it would typically hit every other generation of women. Now, it skipped me, but it got my brother, you know, and I am so I'm still always conscientious about what I'm eating, how I'm eating, because girl, I love sweets. I mean, I grew up like many of us with, you know, your mama cooking a cake every Sunday or every weekend, you know. I mean, I remember growing up in New York, my mother made everybody a cake for their birthday. So so knowing, like you said, knowing what you can eat and still get fulfilled is one of the keys. Yeah.
And that's what we're on a mission to do, to try to get people, you know, where they can enjoy what they eat. That's so important to me, just as well as controlling, reversing, and changing this thing with this road to diabetes. Our mission, make sure that we can enjoy our food, because I believe that life is life. We should be able to enjoy our food. So I tell people all the time, food is a gift, but we want to be able to enjoy it. We don't want to feel deprived or no kind of way. And my main thing is not to make people feel bad about eating good. You know, I want you to be able to enjoy it, because it's part of life. But I'm very conscious of what I eat, and I'm not perfect, but 90% of my food is eaten good and well.
Yeah. We're talking to Chef Judy Etheredge on our Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor. And And we're talking about eating healthy, eating good things to be healthy. Now, Judy, if you can speak up a little bit louder, because it is a little bit hard for you to hear. Want to thank everybody for joining us. Please post and share out this information so we can get it to the masses. Now, tell us what you have there. We see 2 desserts that you have. Tell us about those.
Okay, so one of them is a lemon, sugar-free lemon cake. I mean cookies. I apologize. And it's done with coconut flour. We do like a cream cheese. We take and blend all that together with eggs. Like we use everything we use in a cake, but instead we change the flour out to coconut flour.
Okay.
And then we use the sweetener to monk fruit. So we do everything that we put in the cake. We just change the flour and the sugars out.
Okay.
And this is what I call blue coconut balls, energy bites. And so what these are is done with coconut flour again, with dates is our sweetener. And we take and put blue spirulina in. And so everybody knows spirulina is good for energy. It makes you feel good. And it just, up those nutrients in the body that just have your energy. Because a lot of times my energy is very, very low.
Right.
And that's because we eat or we don't get to sleep or we're under stress. But we do have snacks here too. We have, we made some mozzarella crisp. So a lot of times we use Parmesan cheese, but we did something a little different. We also put a turkey pepperoni on the back of it.
Oh, okay.
Season it with Italian seasoning, and I can show you how to make those whenever.
Yeah,
okay.
I do want you to, but I want to say before you do that, Judy, because all of that looks delicious. I want to say hi to Naomi Nee. She says she believes it's not the disease that runs in the family, but the ways of eating that leads to the disease. You're right, Naomi.
We have control, Naomi. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Katrina Bridgette says, Chef Jay, thank you for all that you do for the community. Teach us to change our healthy lifestyle. Teach us to live. Thank you, Katrina, so much for joining us on Kobe with COVID. Ladies, please post and share this information out because we are in the midst, really smack dab at the beginning of the holiday eating season. And even though people may not be traveling, girl, they still going to be eating. I don't think COVID is going to stop the eating from happening. You may not go where you thought you was going to go, but you're still going to eat. And oftentimes we overindulge during the holidays. So you said you've got those little mozzarella. Those look like cute little pizza things. Exactly. So tell us how you were able to do those.
Okay, so what we did is we took the pan and we dropped the mozzarella cheese on it in a little circle. Okay.
So it's just plain mozzarella cheese?
Yes, and you use Parmesan cheese too. But this is where we up the flavor of them. We took and put some Italian seasoning on it. And paprika.
Italian seasoning. Now, with your Italian seasoning, Judy, was it already like it's just a store-bought Italian seasoning?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got the mozzarella, you've got the Italian seasoning, a little paprika, and then what else?
And that's it. And then like this one, I'm gonna make with pepperoni, and they're good if you want a piece of without all the bread and the crust. Because remember, we watch it all day, and we can dip this in some marinara sauce. And all we did is put them in the oven, bake them on 375.
Could I put some like a mushroom or some mushrooms or something on top of it?
You could, and I will let them be kind of dry because you don't want moisture. Is what keep when you don't have the moisture, it crisps up. So you can put some dry. I'm gonna tell you what I really, really like on some jalapeno peppers.
Oh, okay.
And then what they do is they turn out just like this. I bake them for about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on your stove and depending on your oven. And I love it. You can dip them in a little marinara sauce.
Yeah.
Raise your blood sugar, and so that's the whole thing. Every time you eat, your blood sugar is gonna do one or two things. It's either gonna go up or it's gonna stay kind of balanced. So it depends on what you're eating or drinking. It's going to shoot up to the sky. And what happens a lot of times we don't realize is that we get sleepy. And because we get sleepy is because we have eaten too much of the wrong things or too many carbs or too many sugars. And in turn, it just bottoms it out. And so what the body does is say, okay, you don't put all this on me. So you have to go to sleep so I can digest it.
Yeah.
So that's from, and then when you let me know, I have another little ideal snack. Whenever you want me to show it, I will.
Yeah, well, I want to just say something about those because you made it just a great point. They're a good snack. Plus, you don't have the bread that the crust would give you as far as pizza is concerned. It's a pizza tasting snack, but you don't have the bread, which also, like you said, it spikes your blood sugar and all types of, and puts weight on you too because of the bread.
Right. And so that's like what I figured out about myself. That's why I normally eat home mostly, especially pizza, because what happened I find is when I eat pizza, I go into like a sugar craving. So it's the that turns into sugar. And then the marinara sauce has a lot of sugar in it. And then you have all these different meats on it. That's a lot of salt. So it floods the system, right? And so it takes you into craving more sugar, more
Yeah.
carbs.
Yeah.
It's a continuously thing. And a lot of times we can't figure out why we can't stop the cravings. It's because what we eat sends us into craving.
Exactly. Yeah. We're talking to Chef Judy Etheredge, Celebrity Fit Lifestyle, about healthy snacks. Now, she just showed us the Parmesan crisp. What is that? What you call it? What'd you call it, Judy?
You can do Parmesan crisp, but I had mozzarella, and so I used the mozzarella.
Mozzarella. Very simple. You did the mozzarella, Italian seasoning, a little paprika, and then you put it in the oven.
Yeah, put it in the oven on 350 or 375, about 5 to 7 minutes. That's all it takes.
That's good. That's good. And then, of course, we saw the 2 cookies you did. You did a lemon cookie, and then you did a little blue ball. And what was the little blue balls?
Coconut bites.
Coconut bites. So again, guys, I was supposed to be there because I definitely wanted to taste test, but I couldn't be there because I've got to do something afterwards. But Judy, save me some, because I'm coming to get some after I finish. I'm coming to get some, and I'm going to let y'all know. Ronnie Taylor, Chef Jay, wants to know, can you use an air fryer? What do you think about an air fryer?
That is one of my favorite tools. That's when I do like sweet potato medallions, roasted potatoes. As a matter of fact, I have an awesome recipe with air fried wings. And the reason why I
air fried what?
Wings, chicken wings.
Wings, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we really, really enjoy is wings. So a lot of times on the weekend, we'll sabotage all our good work and we'll go out and we'll overindulge. Feel bad, Monday because we have eaten so much. Right. And I'm not trying to be about eating. I just want us to make great choices and change some of our habits, Yeah. And so air fried wings is one of my favorite things. I don't eat wings out anymore because I like to buy the organic small wings, not nothing really, really big. And I put them in season. So I do 2 different types. I do a lemon pepper or Cajun, and I'll take and put them in the air fryer. And they ready within, I would say, 30 minutes. Perfectly crisp, perfect. I love it. So air fryer is a great, great tool. And I like one that has everything on it. I have one that has dehydrator, air fry, bake, roast. It's a pressure cooker. It's a steamer. So that's my favorite tool in my kitchen.
That's great. Thank you, Ronnie, so much for your question. Hey, I want to ask you, Ronnie, what do you use with your air fryer while we go back to Judy? So, Judy, we've seen 2 desserts, 1 snack, and you said you've got another one for us. What are you getting ready to make now?
Hey, this one right here is a cucumber. We call it a cucumber salsa. Now, myself and my husband, we keep this inside of our refrigerator at all times. And the reason why is because it's a great side. It's a great to go on sandwiches. We keep it all the time. So this one is cucumber, tomatoes, and what I did is I got the rainbow. So we got all different kind of tomatoes. Okay.
Okay.
Then, back in the day we used to take and use cucumber with mayo, but we make an awesome vinaigrette dressing.
Oh, okay.
We put up everything really, really small.
Michelle Harris says great knife skills.
we have to do these knife skills. I teach knife skills in my classes, but I want to show
you. Do you really?
Yes, really, really fast. And then we're gonna take avocado. Now this is a little addition that you don't have to do that, but I love it. But a little avocado in it. But it's a great side, even to where you have anything, any type of food, you can pair this with it. Okay.
Okay, so far you had your cucumbers, your tomatoes, a little avocado, apple cider vinegar.
Right. And then we're going to take avocado vinegar. We're going to put this in the jar and shake it up. It's a little Dijon mustard.
Dijon mustard.
You got to show paper. Okay, a little salt.
So you are salt. You're all right with salt then?
Oh, yes. I love salt. Just don't overdo it.
Okay.
And I was in Florida this weekend with my daughter, and she grows key limes on her back. So I put a little key lime in there.
Okay.
I put a little orange in it. That's where your flavors come in at, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna put a little bit of black pepper in it. And it's so easy and fast. You put everything in one jar. So everybody asking, where's the sweetener at? So I'm going to use a little habanero, the hot pepper honey, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh,
use a
that's
little bit
habanero honey. Okay.
of habanero honey. And I like flavored honey. This is a ginger honey. And all you're going to do is you're just going to take, and then at this time, because you have to put a little onion powder in. I put a little onion powder. It's so fast and easy. A little Italian seasoning. And all you're going to do is shake it.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it's going to look. I got my cameraman right here working with.
Yeah, I heard you say, "Could you pull the camera down, honey?" Come on, honey.
Dressing. Look at that.
That looks so good.
And let me tell you about apple cider vinegar. It does. It helps with your blood sugar too.
Right. Right.
But just to keep in the refrigerator, and a good way to get your vegetables in. And we just kind of stir it.
So you don't cut up the tomatoes, Judy? You keep them whole?
Yeah, we cut those up. See?
Okay. Okay. I see. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like everything kind of bite-sized, Trey.
Yeah.
And you're talking about delicious. This is very, very good. And it's a good salad. You know, a lot of times we don't like all the lettuce and all. Why not put a salad on everything that you eat?
Yeah.
It's a little salad. And what that does is that build up bulk. So that means it takes less food to fill you up. Because you got all those vegetables in the stomach that's good for you. You get all those nutrients, good for your skin, your hair. I mean, just I don't know.
Wow. That's great. So you've done that little salad. You did the pizza bites, mozzarella things, and then you did the coconut balls and the lemon cookies. If we could see everything, honey, can you just let us see everything?
Keep back in the back laughing.
Honey, can you let us see everything? Yeah. Robin Kingston Gray says she loves Chef Judy. Thank you, Robin.
Oh, thank you, Robin.
Right. So we've got the lemon cookies. Again, none of this stuff has sugar in it. None of it has sugar. The lemon cookies, the little coconut balls, blue coconut balls.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the awesome, I guess it's tomato, avocado, and cucumber salad. And she just made her own dressing. And then the mozzarella crisp. Yeah, Ronnie Taylor said everything looks great. Ronnie, really? Yes. Like I said, we were planning on me being there because I love to eat. And then I've got to do something afterwards. But Judy, you need to save me some food because I'm coming. So, all right. So Chef Judy, Chef J, Judy Etheredge. People want more information. Tell us a little bit because you do cooking classes, right, Ju?
We do cooking classes. We do dinner parties. Just fun. You know, sometimes people want to just come. We don't even talk about health in those dinner parties. We just have a good time and learn how to cook delicious meals. But they can reach me at celebritylifestyle.com or they can reach me at judyetheridge803@gmail.com. And my telephone number, I love to talk. You're welcome to call me, 665-5262.
All right. So you can see Judy's information right there on the screen. Please contact her. As she says, she does really fun and engaging cooking classes. If you need a chef to do something, she'd love to come to you. Kimberly Smith says, delicious, healthy ideas. Chef Jay, your presentation was outstanding. Thank you, Kim. And Katrina says she loves the colors. Yeah, because that's important too. A colorful plate, right?
That's right. That's so important.
Yeah. All right. Chef J, Judy Etheredge. And don't forget to check her out. You see her information on the screen. There are some healthy snacks that taste good. You don't have to use sugar. Judy showed us several sugar substitutes, one being the monk fruit, which she said you can use it granulated or you can powder it up. You can use it pretty much with everything, and it doesn't spike your blood sugar.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Contact us, Celebrity Lifestyle Fitness, for Judy Etheredge. Shakora Miller says, hi, Sister Jeff Judy. She said she loves the recipe. Thank you, ladies, so much, and gentlemen, so much for joining us. Coming up next, we are going to talk to Sherretta Thomas. She is with DHEC, and we're going to carve some pumpkins. In it together, and the Diabetes Advisory Council presents Wellness Wednesday, and we'll be right back after this.
Coping with COVID and In It Together present Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by the Diabetes Advisory Council of South Carolina and DHEC's Division of Diabetes and Heart Disease Management.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Palmetto Media Connections wants to connect with you. Find and like us on Facebook and a chance to win dinner for a family of 10 for the Thanksgiving holidays. Provided by licensed caterer Deacon Eddie Green of Catering and Beyond, 201 Columbia Mall Boulevard, 803-567-3986. Connect with us for a chance to win dinner for a family of 10. Sponsored by Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together.
People will be able to look 100 years from now. They will know how we got over. This makes it even more important that we shine this light.
Part of it also wasn't the fact that we couldn't have the physical graduation, but I also couldn't celebrate with my family out of town.
For me, I feel like this is a new normal. This is not going away anytime soon, I don't think.
Anything that's happened before can happen again. And the same thing is at play with this virus.
You know, we are no longer in a building, and we've talked about church being, you know, with us, in us.
Have you traveled abroad late in the past 6 months? You know, we were trying to trace it back as early as November.
I know what most people think. If he broke my jaw, I would just leave. But it's more complicated than that. There are days when you tell yourself to go. Go, 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 just go. But when you get in that car, you freeze. You think, oh my God, I can't access the bank account. Oh my God, I literally have nothing with my name on it, not even the credit card in my wallet. Oh my God, I'd have to quit because he knows where I work. See? Not that easy to leave, is it?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and there are several resources and numbers and folks available to help you. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence and need help, please share with them the information on the screen. There is help. You don't have to suffer alone. In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council present Wellness Wednesday on Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor, and Sherretta Thomas joins us, and she is the Education Nutrition Education Specialist with DHEC's Office of Professional and Community Services. That's a big title, girl. Thank you for joining us. Can't hear you, Sherretta. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Awesome.
Okay, good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I see you've got some pumpkins there, and it is the season for pumpkins. So listen, let me ask you, are pumpkins good for you?
Pumpkins are good for you. I'm glad that you had the chef before me because she pretty much did most of my work when she was talking about blowing your blood sugar. So that's one of the benefits by using or eating pumpkins. It helps to lower your blood sugar as well. Really? Vitamin C is another benefit that you get. And also if you have constipation issues, pumpkins are good for that too.
Oh, wow. Now, so you gave us some of the benefits of eating a pumpkin. What's the best way to prepare them?
Well, one of the ways that you can eat a pumpkin raw, but because it's so thick and girthy like, it's not very pleasurable. So what I did was I just cut up a few pieces of pumpkin, added a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and some cinnamon, olive oil, baked it for about 30 minutes or so, and you're good to go with it. And that was all that I added to that. Because go ahead.
No. I was going to ask. So does it make it crispy, or is it more like a sweet potato consistency?
It's more like a sweet potato consistency, but again, depending on what type of pan. Like if you use a cookie sheet, the more thicker your pan, the more moisture they'll probably hold in it. So if you had a thinner pan and cooked it a little high, keep an eye on it, of course, it will make it a little crispier if you wanted more of that dry taste to it. Or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you just cut up the meat or the insides of the pumpkin, spread it out. You said put a little cinnamon, and what else did you put in, Sherretta?
So what I did was peel the outside of the pumpkin. I used one of my smaller friends. I peeled the outside of it. I chopped it up. And what I did was kind of dried it a little bit with the paper towel, because again, when you're talking about moisture, if you want more of that kind of sweet potato consistency, you want to eliminate that by the moisture that you put on it. I drizzled some olive oil on it, salt and pepper, and a little cinnamon to it, and then baked it in the oven for about 30 minutes or so.
Wow, that sounds good. That really sounds good. Now, I grew up eating pumpkin seeds, and I don't really see them anymore. Are they still good for you? Are pumpkin seeds good for you?
Pumpkin seeds are really good for you. I'm showing you the pumpkin seeds that we took out. Some of my friends that I carved out earlier. That's in here.
I love that you're calling them your friends. I love that you're making the pumpkins cute.
Our friends. What we do with the pumpkin seeds, out of most of your other seeds that we have, are not as allergenic. You're not as allergic to pumpkin seeds than you are other things like sesame seeds and things of that nature. So they're pretty good for you as well. And because we're getting ready to hit on that season of trick-or-treaters coming out, this is one of the reasons why I cut up the pumpkin. So when we talk about the activity, about what you could do with the pumpkin and the pumpkin seeds, the same way that we did with the actual pumpkin, as far as like chopping it up and baking it, you can take those pumpkin seeds out itself, and then also olive oil. If you want to put a little salt and pepper on it, stick it in the oven and roast your pumpkin seeds if you don't want to buy them from the store.
Now, do you actually? I would just suck them and throw them out. Do you eat them? Can you eat them, or you can suck the juice out or whatever?
No, you can still. It's edible, so you can still eat it as well.
Okay, so pumpkin seeds are good for you.
They absolutely are.
Good. Now, I see your friends are there with you. So introduce them to your friends, right?
Well, here I have the mama, because she's so old. What's going on? This season that's going on, because we're coming from the pumpkin patch, and you know what happens in the pumpkin patch? We're picking a lot of her relatives as well.
Right.
And then I have the dad, who's so sick from what he's eaten earlier. As you can tell, dad is kind of having a little digestive issues coming out of his mouth right there. And then we have that mischievous, darling daughter of his right there. So you can see one of her eyes is a little runny, nose a little runny as well. Little black eye. Had a rough day at school, I see.
I see. So tell us about pumpkin carving, because this is the time, as you say, when you get the pumpkins, a lot of kids want to decorate them. Tell us some decorating tips, carving versus drawing on the pumpkins.
Well, if we're going to carve, I always tell my parents or adult to make sure that we're supervising when it comes to carving, because it is going to take a good little pressure to it when you're carving out a pumpkin. What I did initially was I take out the top. So I open up the top first, and then I'll clean my pumpkin out.
Okay.
And once you clean the pumpkin out, that's up. Once you clean the pumpkin out, I usually draw on the faces on the outside, and then using like with a carving knife or a sharp little knife, a small one, of course, and just trace with the traces that I drew on there, cut around that way. So if we're using children elementary age, you want to make sure that we do have some guidance with that. So that's why I brought my smaller pumpkin for our smaller ones.
Okay.
That you can actually draw on the faces if you want to avoid them actually using knife techniques.
Right. So as far as drawing, is paint better versus magic marker, crayon? What's the best thing to use?
I used a marker, and the only reason why I used a marker, as you can see, actually, it's a little dry, faded a little bit, because I'm only going to use it for this episode here and maybe for a couple of days. But paint could be used as well if you want to keep it out for a while. If you're planning for this season to have your decorative pumpkins out in your yards, you may want to use paint or something that's a little thicker in color. But I just use marker because I'm only using it for a few days. But yeah, paint is a good source too. Crayons too can work, but I didn't use crayons today, but that can also work as well.
All right. Judy says, great job carving. Naomi Nee says that she loves eating pumpkins. Naomi says, I usually bake it upside down in the oven and season afterwards.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah. Have you ever done that, Sherretta?
I've never done it because one of the things you want to keep in mind, and I think our chef hit on it as well when we were talking about salt. You want to make sure that even when we're doing cooking, I prefer that when you cook with food, that you season your food prior to, so you won't have that additional salt too, because you don't want to actually eat and taste a whole lot. I'm not saying that you will put salt on your pumpkin, but if that was one of your actual things that you want to add to it other than your regular spices or cinnamon, I would probably maybe mix it up a little bit so it won't be direct salt that you're consuming when you're eating it.
Yeah, In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council present Wellness Wednesday on Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor. Sherretta Thomas joins us. She's with DHEC's SNAP education program. She's one of their nutrition and education specialists, and she's been sharing with us information about her and her friends, as she calls them, the pumpkin family. Michelle wants to know, Sherretta, is pumpkin good for savory recipes?
It is because of that girthiness. So, for instance, have you ever had like a squash soup? Well, of course, they're all in the same family. So you still have that same. When we took the pumpkins and chopped it up, actually, you can go ahead and puree it. And the puree is good too. And sometimes the puree is what some use when they're having constipation issues as well.
Okay.
So it's a savory taste to it. That's why we said if you do the salt and pepper, things that you can season and flavor it with prior to or when you're cooking before you actually finish eating it. So that's a good thing. Yeah, you can definitely do, like, we don't do pumpkin soup that much, but it can come out more so like your pumpkin purees.
Okay. Want to say hi to everyone that has joined us. Thank you so much for watching In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council presenting Wellness Wednesday. Please post and share this information out so we can get this message to the masses, because we are in the season of eating. We're in pumpkin season. We're in cooking and eating season, and it's World Food Month. And we're talking with Sherretta Thomas, and she's been telling us, about the pumpkins. So what about as far as the pumpkins are concerned, you said you could make, obviously you can make a pumpkin pie. We've got you've got the cut up pumpkins, the pumpkin seeds. You even mentioned a pumpkin soup, which was really interesting.
Right. And again, the pumpkin and the squash family, they're all in the same family. So the same thing that you could do potentially with a squash, you can also do with a pumpkin as well.
Yeah. So would you, I know you said you put a little cinnamon on it and just a sprinkle of cinnamon, right?
Right. So because cinnamon is pretty good for you and it's not really bad, have at it. You can really use the cinnamon.
So cinnamon is okay for the folks who have diabetes or pre-diabetes.
And again, cinnamon also is a good benefit as well, a good source of where your spices are concerned when it comes to diabetics as well and your blood sugar.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So, Halloween is just a few days away. And because of COVID, people are deciding what they should or should not do as far as their children are concerned. And you had some tips that you wanted to share.
Well, one of the reasons why I focus on the pumpkin, outside of the benefits that we get from pumpkins and how good it tastes when you do have like a pumpkin pie, or if you want to do pumpkin bread, or, just purees and things, it's also if you decide that, hey, there's a lot going on and I'm kind of pressured. I really don't want my child to actually go out during this season when it's come time for trick-or-treating coming out. These are activities that you can actually do. Get yourself a pumpkin, maybe one pumpkin, depending on the size of your family. You can have like a little game or competition if you have many children or many kids at hearts at your household as well. Little pumpkins. And you can do a decorating contest. You can do a carving contest. And then again, these are some of the things after you finish with the carving and things of that nature, you can cook your pumpkin up.
Yeah.
So those are some benefits that you can actually do, or some activities that you can actually do if you decide that you do not want to take your little ones out this year for trick-or-treating.
Yeah. Now, what about if we do decide to either take our children out, or if we want to leave our light on, so to speak, to welcome trick-or-treaters? You had some information to share about that.
One of the things is too, Tre, that I mentioned earlier is that if we are going to do Halloween, or if we're going to do trick-or-treating and you want those trick-or-treaters to come to our door, we still make sure that we wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
We're having our gloves on as well because we're going to be handing things out. Or
Yeah.
you can just go to the honor system. And the honor system is that you put in all your good candies and stuff in a bowl and just stick it outside of your door. And as the trick-or-treaters come by, your light is on, they'll come by and they grab some. Some may grab more than one, but
Yeah.
hey,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and if you want to monitor at the door by looking out the door, that's fine too. But again, we want to make sure that we're safe. You
Yeah.
know, we want to make sure that we're playing it safe this year as well. So those are some of the items that you do. But one of the things I do want you to focus on, if you are going to give out candies of some sort, make sure that everything is prepackaged. Because we don't want, like some of us may get home goods that we might have given out little homemade candies and things.
Yeah.
This is not the time to actually want to do that. You want to make sure that you want to do prepackaged things.
Yeah. All right. Michelle wants to know, how long will a carved pumpkin stay fresh and nice to look at?
Ooh, I don't know, Michelle, because a couple of pumpkins that we have carved in the times past, what we normally did was carve them maybe a couple of days before the event that we had them for. As long as they're dried out, that's the key. Dried out, you can probably maintain its actual look before it starts to wilt a little bit. As you can see, this one right here is a little runny at the nose or runny at the eye. And that's because actually I did not carve out the inside, so you can actually see the effects. But by me actually carving this out, you're taking the meat and the seeds and stuff out of it on the inside of it. So that keeps that moisture out of it. So if you want to dry out your pumpkins first and then decorate them and put them out, you may be able to preserve them or keep them a little longer.
So yeah, you made a good point. So one way is, as you said, with the little pumpkin, is you can just cut it and leave the innards in it, but that probably won't last as long as cut it, you know. So like you said, you cut it out the top, dump it out. And so do you then rinse it out? Do you actually kind of rinse it out and just let it air dry, or what's the process?
If you want to dry out the pumpkin, you know, and again, that's a real good cleaning of carving on the inside. We're actually cleaning out the inside of it as well, Trey, and then keeping, some may actually put it out in the sun to let it dry out. But if we're just doing it for decoration purposes, I would just clean out the inside of it, wipe it down, of course, you know, with paper towel to try to keep some of that moisture out of it as well. And then, as much as possible, keep it direct sunlight or some kind of lighting so it won't necessarily be exposed where it's getting colder or if it's getting too warm, so it can start to wilt a little bit.
And then if we want to put like a candle or something, I know I see a lot of people put the candles. Would you suggest a fire candle or maybe like a little electric or battery operated light? What's the best thing?
Well, with the wax candles that we put in there, Trey, because again, it's still some moisture inside of the pumpkin, it will be fine. But of course, I would never leave anything that's not supervised that we're going to have younger people around, of course.
Okay. All right. All right. We're talking to Sherretta Thomas. She is with the DHEC SNAP Education Project. Anything else as far as fall and holiday foods and snacks that we need to really kind of hone in on, Sherretta?
Maybe you want to always keep in mind that you want to shop in season. And this is our fall season, so you want to look at those things that are coming out in season because it helps to cut down in price when you're shopping as well. And this is a good time, I mean, with COVID out there, to go to like a pumpkin patch or to go out and see if there are collards ready to come out. And that's usually at the top of the year. But those are some things that you might want to focus in. And also always, if possible, let's make sure that we patronize to our local farmers in the area.
Right. I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you, what is in season now other than pumpkins?
Well, of course, collards are going to be coming up shortly. Our green leafy vegetables, and that's definitely something that we can always use because that help with the detox on our livers as well. Then you have your potatoes coming up. Sweet potatoes are coming up always, also, and then like your beans, your peas, things, your legumes, things of that nature as well.
All right. So this is the best time.
And your squashes.
And your squash, right, which is the whole squash family. And like you said, you definitely recommend going to a farmer's market.
Absolutely.
So we can support our local farmers. The freshest stuff.
Right. And one of the things, because of the pandemic, one of the things that we're running into, the farmers markets aren't necessarily running how they typically run, because most of the time we will be out there ourselves setting up and having tables. And we are doing some sites, but we're trying to make sure that we're geared up and we're properly protected so we can protect others that come in contact with us. But things are being prepackaged. Some are ride up or curbside services that some of the farmers markets that are open and operating. So those are some of the things that we're trying to do, and some of the farmers are trying to do to still meet the needs of our participants and our customers out there.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, Naomi Nee says, yes, eat in season. But you know what? I don't think we all know what's in season. We just get what's in the grocery store. We don't know if it's in season or not. You know what I mean?
One of the things, Trey, that you can look at when you're going into a grocery store, usually they'll have a listing or a little brochure that has a list of foods that are in season. I know in our office, and of course you guys to see our website, we also have that same listing or that brochure that tells you, give you different ideas of foods, especially your fruits and vegetables that are in season or not. Because again, that helps to cut down on a lot of prices when it comes to our grocery bill.
Right. And it doesn't it the freshest food too, the ones that are in season?
Yeah, but sometimes you can get foods that we get in season, and then we can actually can or freeze and things of that nature that we may eat out of season as well.
Right. As Sherretta said, you can see the information on the scdhec.gov. It's her information, and of course, information for the information that she said that you can get the stuff in and out of season. Michelle says also look for certified SC grown to support local farmers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that is also listed on all of the fruits and vegetables, correct? Sherretta?
Most of them that are locally grown, yes.
Yes, because we want to support our local farmers because, like you said, they have been really hit this year.
Yeah.
Judy says she passes out pre-packaged pretzels. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. One of the things that we did, we went to a farmer's market maybe a month ago, and what we did was we did the prepackaged, we did a broccoli salad. And so, we were able to go ahead and prepackage because we are ServSafe certified and we're DHEC. They, let us pass with that. But again, when we're going along the lines of trick-or-treating and home good candies and things like that, you might want to shy away from right now because of what we're dealing with this pandemic. But definitely you want to make sure that prepackaging is the way that you go when you are doing anything or interacting.
Yeah, I love the pretzels alternative because it's not candy, it's not cookies, not Twinkies, you know what I mean? I love the pretzels or popcorn. Popcorn would even be a great alternative, don't you think?
Yeah, as long as we're making sure that it's age appropriate, because some of our little ones,
popcorn, right? Yeah. And is cheese popcorn? I mean, I know just regular popcorn is the best, but it starts getting bad when you start adding cheddar cheese.
The more we add, the more we add to it. That they was like, "What's the healthy? Why is it healthy?" Right?
It's not even.
It's a treat. It's a treat. It's a treat.
It's definitely a treat. It's a trick for your teeth. Tanya says, "Love this. Great information, Mrs. Thomas." So, Mrs. Thomas,
thank you.
Thank you, Tanya, so much for joining us. Please continue to post and share. And Judy Etheredge says, great idea to have a list of food in season because everybody doesn't know what you guys know. You know these things. We're just in the grocery store trying to get whatever we need to get.
And you know what? This is one of the things that we can utilize our farmers a lot because, hey, they definitely know what's going on and they know what's in season. So this is one of the reasons why we need to patronize as much as we could with our local farmers and making sure that we are eating that way. And it's the healthier way. You might even want to start your own little garden outside yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people, and we talked yesterday, we talked to a naturopathic physician who said that a lot of people are moving toward gardening now. This has been a time, and I have a garden out in, back of my house, but a lot of people are gardening, they're eating better, they are using oils and herbs and vitamins and more natural remedies. That's what the show was about yesterday. So this really just kind of goes in line with all of that. We just need to be much more conscientious. And what she said, Dr. Sam said, is really focus on building up your immune system before something happens,
And Trey, one of the things, me actually being a COVID survivor myself.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely important that your immune system is really built up, because in that process, you're fighting to get that immune system up so it can continue to fight for your body as well. So
Right.
it is vitally important that we are masking up, everyone, and that we are eating those right foods to make sure, because the chef said earlier, when you're eating those foods and it's weighing heavy on your body, it doesn't give your immune system those things that it actually needs to help it function just on a regular day basis. Now, just imagine when it's exposed to a virus or a foreign object to your body. So, yeah, you definitely want to make sure that we're eating right. Not saying we can't have treats from time to time and indulge, absolutely. But day in and day out, we want to make sure that we're eating what we need to eat and eating
Yeah.
from that rainbow.
Well, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. God bless you, girl. I'm so glad that you
Thank
came
you.
through and you still here to tell about it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Because that was what we were talking about yesterday. The doctor was saying we talk about masking up and social distancing.
Mhm.
Very rarely do you hear anyone say, "But make sure your immune system is built up now.
Absolutely.
Get
Absolutely.
prepared in case." You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because you can do
Absolutely.
all of that and still be eating a bag of potato chips every day, and you have nothing.
Mhm, mhm.
And
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, if it's not, and I think for many, not all, but for many, they're able to be survivors through this situation, is because of what their immune system looked like. So
Oh yeah,
it's
Well,
important.
we hear it all the time that those folks with pre-existing conditions are the most vulnerable. So
Yeah.
yeah, Sherretta Thomas. I want to say Tanya Williams says she started her garden. Good luck to you, girl. God bless. I hope you're good with your. We have
Yeah.
what do we have? We have broccoli, we have lettuce, we have cabbage, and we have spinach out there now.
Oh, yummy. So we got a lot of green leafy vegetables. So
Yeah,
that sounds
yeah.
great.
Well, I'm a vegetarian, so yeah,
Okay. Oh, okay. Awesome.
yeah.
And we'll come by your way, Trey.
All right, come on over. You bring the pumpkins, I've got the veggies.
Gotcha.
All right, Sherretta Thomas, please check her out. She is with Etsy DHEC, and there's her number and the website. You can get more information about eating in season, healthy alternatives, and the great information that Sherretta gave us today about pumpkins. And then, of course, earlier in the show, we talked to Chef Judy Etheredge, and she also gave us some great stuff. And believe me, I'm going to get some of that stuff Judy has, and then I'll come back later on tonight while I'm eating a coconut blue ball thing and let you know how it tastes. Sherretta, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Trey, for having me.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
All right.
Listen, if you have a story that could help someone cope with COVID, please email. Actually, go over to my Facebook page, on the Taylor Bay Production Facebook page, and send me a message and we'll talk to you about it. If you have a story or product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreitailor@gmail.com. copingwithtreitailor@gmail.com. You see the information right there. And we would love to talk to you about being a Coping with COVID sponsor, just like Palmetto Media Connections, Agape Counseling and Training Center, In It Together, SC, DHEC, and more. Now, tomorrow, Rick Henry from WIS-TV, you may have heard that he had a successful battle with prostate cancer. He's going to join us tomorrow. Talk a little bit of sports, talk a little bit of prostate cancer. That's tomorrow on Coping with COVID. Then Friday, Faith Friday with Reverend Gerald Salmon with Latson Presbyterian Church. And then on Saturday, the Iron Riders Cycling Club. You will get a chance to check out my interview with those folks. And they're looking for cyclers to join them, and single ladies. Is a lot of single men in there. I'm just saying. All of that and more coming up next on Coping with COVID. As always, I leave you with a reading from Jesus Calling, and today is October 28th. And Jesus says, listen to this, do not expect to be treated fairly in this life. People will say and do hurtful things to you, things that you don't deserve. When someone mistreats you, try to view it as an opportunity to grow in grace. Man. See how quickly you can forgive the one who has wounded you. Don't be concerned about setting the record straight. Instead of obsessing about other people's opinions of you, keep your focus on me, Jesus says. Ultimately, it is my view that counts. As you concentrate on relating to me, remember that I have clothed you in my righteousness and holiness. I see you, Jesus says, stirred in these radiant garments which I brought for you with my blood. This also is not fair, but it is a pure gift. When others treat you unfairly, remember that my ways are much more better than fair. My ways are peace and love, which I have poured out into your heart by my Spirit. That's your Jesus Calling for today, Wednesday, October 28th. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for joining us today for Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings and remind you to please wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. We'll see you tomorrow.
Coping with COVID and In It Together present Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by the Diabetes Advisory Council of South Carolina and DHEC's Division of Diabetes and Heart Disease Management.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.